Welcome back to another episode of American Bonapartist. Today's video will be the first of two videos on Bonapartism as a political ideology and movement. Bonapartism is a political ideology that is based upon the beliefs and achievements of Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte, 1769 to 1821, was a French military commander and statesman. He was born into a minor noble family from the island of Corsica. Napoleon was sent off into a military school as a teenager where he rubbed shoulders with children from France's oldest aristocratic families. Because of his background, he was ostracized by his peers. Despite this, Napoleon was able to overcome his bullies, and upon graduation, he became a second lieutenant in the French army. By the time the French Revolution began in 1789, Napoleon was still an unknown military officer. He welcomed the revolution because he felt it would destroy the old order, which it did. Taking advantage of the situation further, he wanted to become a leader in Corsican politics, but he was labeled a traitor. This experience in 1793 made him French forever. He first made his fame when he defeated the city of Toulon from the British. He then subjugated the royalist mobs in Paris, and after that, he was then made a general and made a commander of the Army of Italy. He successfully defeated the Austrian and Italian armies there. After a failed military expedition in Egypt, he returned to France in 1799. By this point, the king was dead, along with most of the royal family. The Reign of Terror had killed many thousands of individuals, and now the Directory ruled the country. In 1799, at the age of 30, Napoleon launched a coup against the Directory and became Consul of France in 1803. He successfully defeated the Austrians in Italy after a brutal march through the Alps. After claiming victory in the war of the Second Coalition, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of the French. This event changed the course of France and Europe forever. The new French Empire set up a number of sister republics in the Netherlands, Italy, and in Belgium. In December 1805, Napoleon won probably his greatest military victory at the Battle of Austerlitz, where he defeated the Austrian Emperor and dissolved the Holy Roman Empire. At the moment, he was the most powerful man in Europe. Things for Napoleon began to fall apart, however, after his disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812. 18 months later, Napoleon was forced to abdicate by a coalition led by both Britain and Russia. After a brief exile in Elba, he returned to France to reclaim the crown. His second defeat came at the Battle of Waterloo in now what is Belgium. This was the end for Napoleon the man and for the era. He was exiled to the island of St. Helena and died there in 1821. After Napoleon died, Europe entered into a state of tranquility and relative peace. Britain dominated the world via her navy, and Russia was her pure competitor, dominating via her massive army. The legacy of the French Revolution was nevertheless on everyone's minds, and especially in France. Its legacy never really went away. The revolution became so integral to the identity of French culture that it became to be seen in the same light as the beheading of Saint Denis or Saint Joan of Arc liberating the city of Orleans. It was in the making of the liberal revolution, a part of the French national identity, is where Bonapartism emerged as a movement in itself. Like today, the Bonapartists believe that the survival of the state relies upon loyalty, self-reliance, and a sense of national patriotism. Bonapartism doesn't try to usurp liberal ideals with authoritarian dictatorships, but instead tries to reconcile the two by giving liberalism a sense of purpose and urgency. Bonapartism has been practiced in many European countries to varying extents, but nonetheless, France is where it all began. For example, Louis Napoleon, who later became known as Napoleon III, wrote a book called The Extinction of Poverty, which is almost socialist in character, but it is nonetheless pragmatic. So, Bonapartism is concentrated around a strong political leader who advances the will of the population, such as Napoleon's first and third, and includes other people like Julius Caesar, and in a modern sense of the word, someone like Vladimir Putin, or perhaps maybe even, yes, Donald Trump. One reason Bonapartism is appealing is that it transcends the traditional boundaries between left and right. Left-wing and right-wing politicians constantly squabble over petty political arguments, as they did centuries ago in the light of the French Revolution. Bonapartism stands above petty partisan politics, as it does stand beyond traditional confines between good and evil, and especially capitalism versus socialism, which is increasingly, in my opinion, a false choice that is being levied on people everywhere in society. The Bonapartists promote equality and social progress. The Bonapartist believes that it is a strong man, and a strong man alone, who can achieve these goals, and not some utopian, muddle-headed schemes orchestrated by the rabble. It must be from an educated and strong and usurping force. That is what it means to be a Bonapartist. And that is the purpose of this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on Bonapartism. I hope to hear from you soon.